Okay, so I was not in class today, so I'm presenting my UDL lesson in a video. I chose a lesson on classifying animals that I found on CPOMs. It's a third grade lesson, and pretty much the teacher has them watch a video, goes over the different types of animals, vertebrates and invertebrates, and then birds, mammals, reptiles, fish, amphibians, and then students practice sorting animals into different groups. And then for their assessment, she incorporates language arts and had students research the different animal groups with trade books, and then they're going to create a poster on whichever animal group they were assigned. So for the lesson, starting off, for prior knowledge, in the beginning of the lesson, I figured that one of the ways I would activate background knowledge for students with special needs or learning disabilities, any type of need, would be providing them an outline of the key vocabulary. So like maybe with words like classifying, vertebrate, invertebrate, just so they could have like a background prior to starting the lesson, and I could just maybe talk to them about that. So when they hear those words, they're not brand new to them. And then also, I said learning cards too would be a good way to let them study facts on the different types of animals prior to starting the lesson, so that when we started the lesson, they already had a little bit of a background. And then going into the lesson, the teacher starts talking about the word classification and how animals are alike and different. So I said that in order to provide information visually, I would maybe add a PowerPoint. So instead of just standing up there and talking about what classification is and what vertebrates are, I would make a PowerPoint, and I could be showing pictures and have those words written in written text on the PowerPoint, so that visual learners could see that as well as hear me say it. Another thing I would do is have the outline too. So that's another mode of representation for students who maybe had a hearing impairment and would benefit from following along with the key points of the lesson in a transcript, or just maybe those with learning disabilities who could keep referring back to that if they're getting lost with the auditory learning. Another thing so then going into the lesson, they would sort cards of animals, not necessarily in particular groups, but just to get an idea of classifying, and the physical sorting of the cards. That's another mode of representation that gives those visual learners a visual. Then the students would watch a video on Brain Pop about classifying animals, and I said that I would maybe activate the closed captioning on the video, or even print out a transcript, which is easy to do for all Brain Pop videos. That way a student who couldn't auditorily listen to the information in the video could either follow along on the transcript or read the closed captions. When we go back to the discussion after watching the video about the animal groups, I once again said I could have a PowerPoint, or also a communication board would allow a student who was nonverbal to communicate which group they believed certain animals belonged in. Or I could also have a communication board with different animals on it, so I could ask, okay, which animals on this board would be mammals, and they could point and show me. So that's, for action and expression, an alternate form of that. I would continue with the PowerPoint. As far as the assessment, students could use a word processor this is when they get to the part where they're going to do research using books and make a poster. I said that instead of using the trade books in the class, they could use ebooks on Bookshare to do their research. Students could word process their posters instead of handwriting them. I could have students create a graphic organizer on inspiration as opposed to physically making their poster. What else? They could make a PowerPoint presentation, which would allow them to either use written text or do an audio recording of themselves talking about the animal group that they researched. Or I could even have students do a web quest as a completely alternate form of engagement instead of the research activity. So there's a lot of different ways that I could have students show what they learned about the different animal groups. So that's pretty much it. I'm already going into 6 minutes, so that's about it. All right, thank you.